How sustainable agriculture combats climate change. Hotter temperatures, bushfires, severe storms, floods, and warming and rising oceans are some of the risks which people all over the world are experiencing at the moment. The cause of most of these natural disasters is climate change. So what is climate change? According to the United Nations, long-term changes in temperature and weather patterns are referred to as climate change. Despite the fact that these changes are natural, the combustion of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas, which result in heat-trapping gases, has been the main cause for climate change since the 1800s. People burn fossil fuels and contribute to climate change in many ways. Generating electricity and heat, industrialization, urbanization, transportation, pollution, and food production. Fossil fuel combustion produces greenhouse gas emissions which act as a blanket around the earth, trapping the sun's heat and boosting temperatures. The major greenhouse gases that have been a huge catastrophic problem to the entire world are carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, ozone, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbons, and hydrofluorocarbons. These gases allow sunlight to travel through the atmosphere, but they prevent the heat generated by the sunlight from escaping to space. We call this the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect results in a warmer planet, which we are already experiencing as global warming. So, is there a way to stop climate change? It's actually not possible to stop climate change in today's busiest world. However, we can all support to minimize climate change in many ways. Save energy, reduce carbon emissions, use renewable energy sources, act according to the 3 R's, which means reduce, reuse, and recycle, save water and the environment. These are some of the ways that we can help reduce climate change. But how do we reduce the impact of food production? As I mentioned above, the process of food production and agriculture is one of the main causes of climate change. The food we eat has been produced, stored, processed, packaged, delivered, prepared, and served before it reaches our plates. However, at any of those stages, greenhouse gases are emitted. Particularly in agriculture, large amounts of greenhouse gases such as nitrous oxide and methane are released. Livestock emits methane, and landfills that contain manure and organic garbage may also allow it to escape. In order to grow crops that will yield enough food to feed the world's population, fertilizer is added. Plants need nitrogen compounds from the soil to grow. These might occur naturally or can be added by fertilizers. However, using too much fertilizer causes our waterways to become contaminated and the emissions of dangerous greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, such as nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is a significant greenhouse gas. Pesticides, fertilizers, and other harmful agricultural chemicals have the potential to contaminate freshwater, marine habitats, air, and soil. They may also linger in the environment for many years. The manufacture of fertilizer also contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. As food productions are transported around the world, greenhouse gases are also released via burning of fossil fuels such as diesel, LPG, and petrol. Thus, agriculture and farming contribute immensely to climate change. Scientists are actively working to find ways to lessen fertilizers' detrimental effects on the environment. And numerous types of soilless farming methods which use less fertilizers have been introduced into the industry. We also call these types of farming sustainable agriculture. Hydroponic farming is the most popular nowadays as sustainable agriculture. The use of hydroponics is promoted as a way to counteract climate change, lessen environmental harm from intensive farming, and prevent species extinction. The benefits of hydroponic farming are: it saves space and uses less land. It saves water and uses water more efficiently. For example, hydroponics farming only uses 10% of the water needed for traditional farming. No or less use of fertilizer as it does not need soil. Less contamination. Being a closed system, there's no contamination of the water or soil with pesticides or fertilizer residue. It has no weeds or pests, so we can reduce the use of weed killers and pesticides. Plants grow better and yield a higher quality in the same amount of land, and they generate 3 to 10 times as much food as traditional agriculture. Additionally, the plants grow at half the time. Adaptation to extreme conditions. It enables the growth of plants in changing conditions like harsh weather or poor soil. Thus, hydroponic crops are also more profitable and easier to control. With this type of sustainable agriculture system, we can fight against hunger and enhance food safety, especially developing countries. Additionally, with a hydroponic system, we can grow the produce locally. This reduces the need for long-distance transport, which will use fossil fuels that release harmful emissions. It also keeps produce fresh and environmental friendly. The global hydroponics market is anticipated to reach 725 million USD by 2023, which is a compound annual growth rate of 18.1%. Therefore, hydroponics or soilless farming could be the answer for serious questions over the future of food production. Here I will show you a simple model of a hydroponic system. Please note that this is a model and the materials I use are not the accurate materials. I used a deep plastic container, 3 plastic cups with drainage holes, and a styrofoam board, some seeds, water, and some nutrients to mix with water. Cut holes into the styrofoam board according to the size of the plastic cups, as the plastic cups have to be placed in these holes later. The plants or seeds are set up in little plastic cups on a coconut fiber substrate. Here, I use some straw and compost mixture as a substitute for coconut fiber. The container is filled with water with nutrients which have to be replaced every week or so. Keep the styrofoam board on the big container and place the cups in the holes of the styrofoam board. The entire unit is placed in a sunny place or a bright area. Observe daily, and in 2 or 3 weeks you will be able to see the seeds are sprouting.